The former television news anchor who brought a gender pay discrimination lawsuit against KUSI takes the stand for the first time. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee. Sandra Maas filed that lawsuit against KUSI, claiming she was paid far less than her male counterpart because of her gender, and then faced retaliation after she brought up the issue. The trial got underway 3 weeks ago. Now the jury is having the opportunity to hear Sandra Maas's allegations in her own words. CBS 8's Abby Black joins us live from outside the Hall of Justice downtown. Abby, what have you learned today?
Marcella, the day ended with Sandra Maas being cross-examined. The defense is trying to prove that her male co-anchor Alan Denton had 13 more years of broadcast experience than she did, and that his experience was in bigger markets and that experience mattered in salary. But when Maas took the stand earlier today, she testified that she was more than qualified to get paid equally to her male anchor and that KUSI knew it. The judge is not allowing video or audio in the courtroom, but we can use still images.
The jury's in the third week of hearing testimony in the former TV anchor gender pay discrimination civil lawsuit. Today, they heard the much anticipated testimony straight from the anchor herself, Sandra Maas, who got emotional on the stand. Maas is suing KUSI for gender pay discrimination and whistleblower retaliation. She was getting paid $180,000 per year, and her male co-anchor, Alan Denton, was getting paid $250,000. KUSI argues that Maas had a bad attitude, was late, and didn't work in the building as much as Denton. But as Maas spent the day on the stand questioned by her attorneys, she had some powerful testimony that could sway the jury in her favor. In 2018, in contract negotiations, she testified that she told KUSI's managers that she knew her male co-anchor was getting paid much more than her and she wanted more money. They denied her request and she agreed to a one-year deal with less money, and she said, quote, "I thought unequal pay was better than no pay at all." KUSI argues that Denton came from bigger markets and he was getting paid more money there. Maas had been an anchor for nearly 30 years. She was anchoring newscasts and 2 franchise segments, did volunteer work as well. She testified at one time KUSI's Vice President Mike McKenna Jr. told her that she was the best anchor in the market and certainly at KUSI. She thought that after Denton left that it would make more room in the budget to give her more money. But in 2019, KUSI would not renew her contract, and she says she was out of a job. She got teary-eyed on the stand as she talked about her last day on the air and that management did give her the big send-off for her 15 years at KUSI. She said, quote, "I felt like I was being thrown out like trash."
It's important to know that the Fair Pay Act that passed in 2015 entitles employees who do similar work. It entitles them to equal pay. Now, Maas's cross-examination will resume tomorrow morning. Her side still has about 2 more witnesses to call, and that includes Denton's deposition. The judge says that the jury could start deliberating next Wednesday.
Interesting case that we are following. Of course, Sandra Maas worked here at KFMB stations for a while, so a lot of us knew her and we're watching this case closely. Thanks so much for a recap of her day on the stand. Thanks, Abby.